Passion, drive, persistence, resilience, love. All qualities that shape and define us. Join the Cyber Warrior as he helps shape your path. This is Walk With Me. Welcome back to Walk With Me, a Cyber Warrior Studios production. I'm your host on this journey. As always, it's me, it's the Cyber Warrior. Now, today I want to talk about something that a buddy brought to my attention, right? So I have discussed a lot of things, goals, planning, finding your why, all these things. And we've talked about making decisions and making big decisions and really moving ahead in life and finding your purpose and a lot of other topics, stress, things of that nature. But today, I want to talk about something called decision fatigue and or decision paralysis. Now, what is this? For a lot of us, especially someone like myself who does a ton of things, whether it's YouTube or podcasts or trying to mentor people in my community or helping up at school or dealing with my kids and helping raise them and being there for my wife on top of a full-time job, there's a lot of things going on in our lives. And a lot of times we have to make decisions. And when it comes to something like our hobbies and things that we're doing as side projects and things of that nature, it can get to a point where you don't feel like you can make a decision anymore. It can get to a point where you're tired of making decisions. So let's say, for instance, I had to come up with a topic, or I had to do something for one of my hobbies, or maybe I found interest in another hobby. There's only so much time in a day. There is only so much that you can accomplish. And so instead of spreading yourself so thin, so even though mentally you may have the capacity for something, time is always going to be a factor. And we like to think that we'll just make decisions. We'll just go with it. We'll just, keep on keeping on, and we're going to keep doing what makes us happy, and we're just going to keep making, adding more and more and more to our plate. But that comes at a cost. Cost is two things. That cost is your mental health, and that cost is your time dedicated to other things that you enjoy. So in order to combat decision paralysis, in order to refocus your mind and what you really want to accomplish, you have to look at what is going to take you further or what is going to make you happiest. Now, sometimes that happiness is just relaxation. It's playing video games. Sometimes that happiness is finding success and achieving goals and dreams and aspirations. But if you don't find time for things that make you happy, if that isn't part of your decision-making process, then you're going to struggle. And you're going to keep adding more until you finally find that fulfillment. And you're not going to be able to give your all and everything that you do, because your time is only so much. Time is finite. We only have 24 hours in a day, only 7 days a week, and 365 days a year, 366 on a leap year. So because time is finite, because our mental space can only take so much, we really have to put a lot of thought into the decisions that we make. We really have to put a lot of thought into the things we want to accomplish. Now, again, those things that are hobbies that aren't really going to make money, they're not meant to make money. It's just for you to unwind and relax and have a good time, whether it's by yourself or with your family or with your friends. That's okay. And actually, a lot of times, those are the easiest decisions to make. But what happens when you have to start making decisions on projects or side jobs or work that is going to affect your income? It's going to affect the amount of money you make. That is where decision making really becomes difficult. So you may be comfortable with where you're at and you think you can take on more. But when you do the math, when you plan it all out like we've discussed, and you look at your goals in life, is anything you're doing now furthering those goals, getting you closer to them? Or this new idea, this new goal, this new hobby or dream or side project or whatever it is you want to do, is this going to get you further towards your goals and closer to your goals? And if you can't make that decision, or if you haven't thought it out, then it's going to become problematic, because now you're trying to decide what to dedicate time to. Where do I take a little bit of my attention from here and put it towards there, and take some of my time from here and put it towards there? Now, things that you should be giving at least 2, 3, 4 hours a day or a week or whatever the case may be, maybe you're giving 30 minutes or an hour. Now you've taken time from it because you have to give time to something else and to something else. Maybe it's cutting into your sleep or your family time, or a lot of people are gamers. Maybe it's your game time, whatever the case may be. Now, that's not to say you shouldn't keep pushing, and you shouldn't keep doing things that not only make you happy, but are going to make you money, because let's face it, money makes the world go around these days. And as one of my podcasts that I listen to a lot talks about, is you should always be leveling up. You should always be doing things that's going to take you to that next level. If you cannot accomplish that, if something you have added to your plate, or something you've had on your plate for a while that you've noticed you've taken time from, well, if it's not making you money, if it's not making you better, and let's be honest, if these days it's no longer making you really happy or relaxing you, then quit doing it. Get rid of it. Because now it is not achieving money, it's not achieving happiness, and it's not getting you any closer to your goals. Stop doing it. There's no reason to keep doing something that isn't beneficial to yourself and to your well-being. And that goes into another thing. So much of our lives, we look at money. I'll be honest, I do it. I'm right there with you. I hope that this podcast one day makes me money. I hope that any of the merchandise I make makes me money. Or I sell, rather. I don't make it all. I hope that my YouTube channel eventually makes me money. I do. I hope these things. And I'm pushing, and I have goals to get there. So everything I do has a purpose. Not only is it to help people, but it's so I can eventually derive an income from the things that I do. Because if I'm not spending time with my family, I want to be doing something that's going to help provide for my family. That's what makes me happy, right? Being able to provide, being able to help others. Providing is helping my family. Helping others helps others. So yeah, again, I'm not completely altruistic. Nobody is. No one does anything completely altruistic. Nobody helps other people on a regular basis all the time unless they're getting something out of it. It could be happiness. It could be money. It could be both. It's up in the air. But you're always looking for something to gain. Again, there's benefits to helping others. It helps them. For me, I enjoy it. And yes, I hope eventually it makes me money. Now, how do we decide how much time we want to put towards financial gain or financial success or whatever, and our mental health? Because when it comes to your decision paralysis, the first thing to go 9 times out of 10 is anything that's going to benefit you mentally. So your time to relax, your time with family, your time with friends, your time to do nothing, your time to hike, whatever the case may be, it's usually the first thing to go. Even your sleep. You will sleep less if it means you're going to make more money, or if it means you can work longer, or you can do more that's going to eventually provide that financial well-being. There's a huge downside to that. It's called burnout and depression and a lot of other things. If you're not sleeping, especially if you are like myself and suffer from insomnia, then eventually, enough hours awake, you really start to feel sick. And you end up, sometimes if you go days without sleeping, hallucinating. And it affects your work. So even if you have a full-time job, failing to make the decisions that are going to be beneficial to your mental health will affect your full-time job, which means you're not going to make money because you're going to lose it. Or you're not going to get that raise, or you're not going to get that promotion. These things will happen. Even your side projects, you'll be spending less and less time on them, or the time you are spending on them won't be at 100%. You won't be putting out the quality that you normally put out, because guess what? You haven't slept. You haven't taken care of your mental health. So that energy you bring to the table, that knowledge you bring, is going to slip because you can't focus. You can't concentrate. And I'll be honest, it happens to me. There's been many times I've done this show and had to re-record or re-outline or whatever the case may be because I can't focus, because my mind's not there. There's been times in my full-time job where I've discussed with my boss my inability to focus. because of depression, because of mental issues, because of burnout. These things happen. It happens to the best of us. Even those that give advice, those that try to help others, sometimes take it too far. And when they do it, they think they're helping others, when in reality, they're hurting because they're hurting themselves. And if you're hurting yourself, if you're not taking your own advice, if you're not mentally giving the right advice because of a situation you have put yourself in, because of decision paralysis, because you've decided that you're not going to make a decision. You're just going to keep adding on and not taking anything away, and you refuse to decide what to give up. You refuse to decide that your health is more important. That is a detriment to everybody, to those that you're trying to help and to yourself. So, I guess to bring it all around and really tell you how I feel, quit taking on more work if you can't handle it. Even if you think you can, if you have done your goals, meaning you've written them out, and you know what your goals are, if you've developed your plans, and this being for personal life and professional, then every decision you make should be achieving those goals and going forward in them. Your personal goals legitimately can be beating a video game. That's a goal. And it's something that will allow for you to unwind and to decompress and to get away. Maybe you want to hike 50 miles in the next 6 months. Make it a goal, plan it out. Schedule your weekend so you can do that. All these things will help you make better decisions. Going towards your goals, working your plan will help you make better decisions. And then you won't have decision paralysis because you can look at your goals, you can look at your plans, and when something comes up and you're like, oh, I want to do that. And you look at it and you're like, well, is it going to help me meet any of my goals? No. Okay. So then one of two things needs to happen. Either A, this extra thing you want to do, scrap it until later on. Maybe until one or two of your goals are done that you now have the time for this. Or the other thing is, you look at your goals and you realize, you know what? This goal isn't as important to me anymore. But this over here will help me achieve a new goal. So let's add that on and we'll quit going for this one. And we'll make a plan so that all these things line up. And so that everything we're doing, we have time for. That we can make it happen. That is what you should be doing. Don't keep adding on. You should have no more than a few goals. 3 to 5 every day. Those goals can be working towards your bigger goals. But every day there's 3 to 5 things you should be knocking out. And then once that's done, you can add more. You can work on your mental health. Meditate. Relax. Go for a hike. Get outside. Away from your computer. Away from your phone. All these things. So, saying that, you all know I always try to leave you with some words of wisdom. So I have 2 quotes today. Did a little bit of research, how to find something, because I kept repeating the same verses out of the havamal because the same ones, or stanzas, same ones always speak to me. I keep finding them over and over again. So I needed to find something different. So this time, because this is based on decisions, I found 2. The first one is, the best decisions are the ones that are made after careful thought and consideration. We discussed this. Every decision you make, think it through. Yeah, sometimes you're going to rush into things. Not against that. Maybe not the best idea. Think these things through. When you make decisions, make them logically, not emotionally. Think about how it's going to benefit you, how it's going to benefit your family, or maybe it just does benefit you. Maybe it's just for your mental health, something you need to do for you. Make those decisions. Think it all through. And then the other thing is, this one's, again, like I said, sometimes you just got to pull the trigger. The man who waits for something to turn up might wait forever. Don't wait for it. Go for it. This is where your goals and your plans come in. If you have a goal to achieve something, don't wait for someone to hand it to you. Go out there and get it. Make a plan. Act on it. Think through your decisions and go for it. Everything you should do should be towards those goals. Some things we do spontaneously, and it's not necessarily part of a goal. It's just something we want to do. It happens. We all do it. There's nothing wrong with that. Spontaneity is good. But when it comes to your career and your life, there should be a lot of goals and a lot of things you're trying to achieve. So, before we leave, I'm going to say these 2 again. The best decisions are the ones that are made after careful thought and consideration. And the man who waits for something to turn up might wait forever. Think about him. Again, just a little bit of wisdom as we end this episode. Now, as we are at the end, I do want to say this. Please, if you like this episode, if you like our show, go ahead, leave us a rating, leave us a review. Make sure you share our episodes. Get the word out there. The more people that hear this, the better off we are. All the ways you can support us, or support me rather, is down below in the description or show notes. Buy me a coffee, merchandise, PayPal, whatever. It's all there. Or you can head to cyberwarriorstudios.com where you can find everything. Otherwise, I love you all. Thank you for joining me on another walk, and I'll catch you all next week.